Hey guys, how we doing? Time for some more stories on this Saturday morning. If you haven't been here before, my name's Peter. You're listening to Thailand Bound, and today I'm going to be reading out two viewer stories. Now, I'm very happy to report that these stories have never been read out on my channel before. They're brand new, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the first of two stories this morning.
สวัสดีค่ะ
I submitted a story about a bar girl called Pom I met in November 2024 and remained in contact, and I did meet back up with her in May 2026 as my previous story I submitted, titled The Truth About Thailand Nightlife, Most Men Learn Too Late. I just thought I would write in and provide a follow-up story on what happened on my latest trip to the Land of Smiles. I read your viewers' comments previously basically saying I need to cut ties with her and I'm an idiot, which on face value I would agree, but here we are again anyway. She has not asked me for any money yet, and I'm not in a relationship with her, and so far keeping my emotions in check. To give people an idea of the backstory who don't want to check out the previous story, I met a bar girl in November 2024. I stayed in contact, was going to meet up in November 2025, but she got pregnant by another Farang's baby and went home. We continued talking and agreed to meet back up in May 2026 before she started working in the bar again. As I described last time, I think we should just enjoy messaging each other. She agreed to spend some time with me and she did not want any payment, so I thought this would be a win-win situation for both of us. I have been to Thailand 3 times now, just go-hopped and never really done the holiday girlfriend thing. My plan was to go to Bangkok for 2 nights, then Pattaya for 8 nights, spending the first 3 nights with Pom in Pattaya, then bar hopping the last 5 nights. That left me with the option to spend more time with Pom if things went well. I did book 2 hotels in Pattaya, one for me and Pom the first 3 nights, then a second hotel so she would see me packing my stuff and it would help appear that I was leaving Thailand. A week before I was due to arrive, Pom asked when I would get to Thailand. I told her I'm spending 1 night in Bangkok first, then heading down to see her. She responded by saying she wanted to come to Bangkok to meet me to spend more time with me, and she did not want me having a Bangkok girl. So I agreed. That meant my 2-night Nana Plaza Soy Cowboy Bangkok session was now down to 1. I arrived at the hotel at 5 p.m, quick shower, then straight to Stumble Inn for a couple before heading to Nana Plaza. First go-go in Nana Plaza was on the first floor on the left-hand side, Spanky's. Probably the best one in Nana. Second bar was next door. I have been to this go-go a number of times and I went in to see a girl, if she was still working there, that I met previously. To my surprise, she was. So I got her off the stage for some drinks. The same big fat Mama Sam was in there harassing me and others as usual. People who know the bar will know this woman. Anyway, time to go and pay the bill. It was about 750 baht. I gave the server a 1,000 baht note. She went away, then came back a few times later, waving a 100 baht note. I said to her, "Where is my other 100?" because I was expecting 250 change. She then said, "No, you gave me 100 baht note. You need to give me another 1,000 baht. I said, "I don't think so. If I gave you a 100 baht bill, you would have looked and told me it wasn't enough." I then turned to the girl I knew and said, "You saw me, right? Give her 1,000. She said, "I did not see, sorry," but she was not going to go against her colleague. I then said to the server, "Look, I know for a fact I gave you 1,000 baht because I only have 1,000 baht notes in my wallet. I withdrew 20,000 baht before coming into Nana Plaza. I opened my wallet and I showed her. She then walked off and within a few minutes came back and gave me the correct change." That pissed me off a bit. Almost got scammed, probably because it was early in the night and I was on my own and about to leave. But these things happen. Every bar after that, when I paid, I made sure the server knew the amount I handed over before they walk off. The girl I met messaged me on Facebook later saying it was nice to see me and apology for what had happened. I then went to 4 or 5 more bars in Nana Plaza and then headed to Soy Cowboy. I was drinking with 2 girls, had a wicked time, and one of them had bought a bottle of local whiskey and they were doing shots. I said, "No, I don't want any," because I was already very drunk at that point. She ignored me, of course, and brought the whiskey over anyway, and they started shotting the stuff. When I refused again, the one girl took a drink and then kissed me and squirted it into my mouth. I guess I am shotting whiskey now. I then left shortly afterwards because I wanted to visit other bars, but I did get the one girl's WhatsApp number. She said when she finishes work, she will message me. But these girls say things all the time, so I didn't pay too much attention to it. I carried on walking my way up the street, and at 3 a.m. she did text me saying she was going to a nightclub with her friends. Do I want to join them? I should have said no because I was already wasted, but of course I said yes. So I met her at the entrance of Soy Cowboy and went in a tuk-tuk to the club. The club was awesome and they had their own table. I don't remember buying any drinks at all, but they were flowing. I was dancing with the Tilak girl and her friends and loving life. Bangkok does not disappoint. I don't remember how I got back to my hotel. All I know it was about 7 a.m. when I returned and the Tilak girl was with me. We had aerobics, then I went to sleep. Pom was meeting me that day at 12 noon. I forgot to set my alarm. Whilst asleep, I heard my phone constantly vibrating. It was Pom calling me. I looked at her messages and she said she was on her way and sent me a photo of her on a motorbike. It was only 10:30 a.m. I don't think I've ever jumped out of bed so quick. I still felt drunk. I woke up the Tilak girl and said I had overslept and I had to leave for Pattaya. She woke up pretty quick, to be fair, and I showed her out of the hotel and quickly cleaned up the room. Pom got to my hotel literally 10 minutes later. That was a close call. As soon as Pom got in the room, we had aerobics, start our time together off the right way. She had never been to Bangkok before, so she wanted to see a few sights. We went to the Grand Palace, but it closed early at 2 p.m. that day, so we went on a 1-hour boat tour on the river, stopping off at temples, etc. I was hanging big time at this point, and the sun was blazing hot for me. The boat ride lasted forever, and I could not wait to get off. Pom, on the other hand, was loving it. I asked Pom if she was comfortable, me showing her around Nana Plaza and Soy Cowboy, and she was excited and said she liked seeing sexy ladies. So that night is what we did. This gave me a chance to go into a go-go's I have not been in before to scope them out, to see if they are any good without spending a fortune on ladies' drinks. What I noticed was all the bars greeted Pom and made her feel comfortable, and even the girls inside would sit down with us and talk to Pom as if they were friends. During our night out, I had the Tilak girl messaging me saying her worst nightmare had happened and that we did not use protection because we were both very drunk, and she was blowing up my phone constantly. I managed to sneak off to the toilet to message her. To be honest, I could not remember myself, but I do remember picking one up from the floor when I cleaned the room, so I told her we did and that she can relax. That seemed to work. The next few days we went to the Grand Palace, then headed to Pattaya, getting drunk every night in a go-go bars, etc., which again was good for me because I managed to visit a lot of bars I haven't visited before. We also did daytime stuff and went to Bang Sarai, Chinese Museum and Buddha Mountain, Koh Lan and Jomtien. I could tell Pom was tired because we got drunk every night and the heat was unbearable at times in the day. But fair play to her, she made the effort and made sure we did all the couple things. When we went to Koh Lan, another Thai girl I am friends with and her boyfriend were on the island and saw me and Pom together, so she messaged me on Facebook. I told Pom about it because I thought nothing of it. She didn't say anything at the time, so all good. But after we went out and returned to the hotel, she then decided to blow up about it and asking lots of questions, and whether I said it did not matter as far as she was concerned. This girl was a threat and I should not be talking to her. In the end, she told me to block her, which I did. This was the only thing that calmed her down. Lesson learnt. Towards the end of our time together, I started getting a bit bored, to be honest, and could not wait to start going out mongering. I would say that Pom did not let me out of her sight when we were together. She was with me always. The one morning I woke up early and went to 7-Eleven to get some water. She was texting me straight away asking me where I was going, etc., and telling me to return to get her ASAP. Another occasion, I went in the shower the morning after a heavy session. She must have woke up and I wasn't in the bed. When I walked back in the room, she started questioning me where I went and what bar. I just told her I was in the shower. She laughed, turned over and went back to sleep. The conversation was not anything special, but I did not meet her for that anyway. But it was good to have someone around. Both of us didn't fall in love and no sloppiness, just enjoyed the time together. She knew I was going home and she was going back to work. We had aerobics 3-4 times a day, and at the end of our time together, she did not ask for any money, as she promised. She wanted to go to the airport with me. I said no. Then she said she will come to my hotel and wave me off in a taxi. I said no because it would be too difficult for me to say goodbye that way. So I took her to a bar and we said our goodbyes there. I then headed to the hotel, got my bags and went to my other hotel to start mongering. I have never been to Pattaya in May before, and it was very quiet compared to November time when I usually go. Some people like low season because more pick of the girls, but what I found around soy bacao, soy honey, soy chayapon, some, but not all of the attractive girls were just on their phones and not really interested because their time is probably better spent securing their sponsors' money. Even Tree Town, which I really enjoyed, was like a ghost town and the girls just looked bored. What made it worse was I could not risk bumping into Pom, and she knew a lot of people. Over the next few days, she was not working much and going out with friends a lot, so I had to keep messaging her to see what she was doing and where she was likely to be. I knew she drank around LK Metro and Soy Bacau area, so I had to be careful around these areas. To this end, because Central Pattaya was quiet and to avoid Pom, I spend a lot more time down Soy 6 and Walking Street, which I don't usually do, but those areas were still very busy, so I had a better vibe. To this end, my first night of freedom, I hit Soy 6 and got completely wasted. At 6 a.m, I made my way to LK Metro to get a burger from Knox, and on the way back I saw street food carts serving fried chicken. I bought some, took it back to my room and I ate it. I knew I was risking having food poisoning at that point, but when drunk and in need of some greasy chicken, all reasonable decisions seemed to go out the window. The next day, a couple of the girls from Soy 6 asked me to go back for some drinks. I went back around 5 p.m. A few drinks turned into many and I was completely drunk by 9 p.m, so I had to go back to the hotel to sleep it off, ready to go back out again later that evening. Woke up around midnight and headed out down Soy Honey. Soy made it in Thailand and then midnight. Halfway in, my stomach started to feel bad. Then the fever started coming. I knew I was coming down with food poisoning, but I carried on as best as I could. I got talking to a girl from Laos in midnight. She said she saw me the night before, called me over, but I ignored her. This time she dragged me in. We hung out and she said she likes swimming, so I told her she could pop round to my hotel anytime for a swim if she wanted. Shortly after I started feeling really poorly, so I got her number and told her I had to leave because I felt ill. The next morning, after taking some Imodium, I felt better. The Laos girl messaged me at 11 a.m. saying, "What are we doing right now?" I said relaxing, but if she was bored, she could come over for a swim. She agreed. She came to my room, but she made it clear she had no intention of swimming, so we just had aerobics. I asked her how much she wanted and she just kept saying, "Up to you." I should have agreed a price up front, but I didn't actually expect her to come that early in the day. I hate it when bar girls say that phase, and it puts you on the spot. So I hit Walking Street, went to a few go-go bars, working my way down the street, and ended up in one of them. It was packed, and I was enjoying watching people dance and listening to the music. One of the bar girls from Soy 6 messaged me and asked me where I was. I knew she had a few days off, so she was on the hunt. I sent her a photo of me inside the club. She then replied with a photo of her inside another place. But she was upstairs on the balcony in the same club, which I didn't realise. Within 5 minutes, she came down with her friend, clinked my bottle of beer and dragged me upstairs to their table. I was now partying with 4 girls and dancing with a Soy 6 girl. The girl I was with said she was going to the toilet, then a random girl stood next to me, but I thought nothing of it. Within a couple of minutes, she tapped me and said she liked me and asked if I was single. I tried to tell her I was with a lady, but she just kept saying she liked me and started hugging me and asked if I wanted to go. I thought she probably couldn't hear properly because of the music, so I turned to one of the other girls and asked them to tell her I was with someone. Next thing I know, my Soy 6 girl came back and started hugging me and saying she was so happy and kissing me all over. I said, "Why?" She then told me that was her friend and she asked her to flirt with me and see if I would go with her. I was shocked. I said, "Why would you even do that?" She said she wanted to know if I really wanted her. I said to her, what if I would have gone with the other girl? She said she would have left me to it and left the club. Who knows how these women think sometimes. Anyway, I took the crazy lady back, had the usual 2 sessions of aerobics, and then went our separate ways. I had the most weird experience with a girl on Soy Bacau. I met her early afternoon for a few drinks with the usual flirting, etc. The second day, she saw me and dragged me in again. After 2 drinks, I told her I was going. She then literally started begging for aerobics. I told her the bar fine was too much. She then said there was a room upstairs, only 400 baht. She continued to ask me to the point where she reduced her price from 2,000 baht to 1,000 baht. She then got on her knees and literally started begging me, shouting, please, please, give me aerobics. I told her to get up and stop being silly. She was attractive and had one of those full back tattoos, which I like. You know those girls are hardcore bar girls. I then agreed to go upstairs with her. She started jumping around the room, then jumping all over me. Anyway, when we finished, she just kept saying thank you, thank you. I think she must have been really excited that day and not had any. I gave her what she originally asked for, the 2,000 baht, because she was incredible and we must have spent at least 1.5 to 2 hours upstairs. We were both exhausted after the session. We just lay there for 20 minutes recovering, talking and laughing. Poor girl had to go back to work for another 4 to 5 hours, but they're masters of their trade. After all, so no issue for her, I guess. There was another Soy 6 hottie I met on my first stint down there, and she tried to meet me after work on 3 occasions, but each time I already had company. So on my last day around 5 p.m, I went to her bar for a short time. I had to have her before I left. The aerobics were great. Walking along Soy 6 later on was exhausting, evading all these crazed women that seemed to be on steroids that day. On the way back to the bar, I actually went up Soy 6/1. I thought that was a safer option after what I'd just experienced. I made it back to the bar and I stayed for a couple more drinks. I told her how difficult it was to get down the street to get some food. It was mental. So when we finished up, she agreed to walk me down to the beach road to avoid the harassment. It worked. Walking down Soy 6 with his stunner, none of the other girls approached, shouted or anything. It worked a treat, otherwise I don't think I would have made it off the soy. Another thing I found on this trip was because the bar fines are getting expensive in some places, the girls are more willing to meet you after work or on their days off to be able to earn their money. I was bombarded constantly, but that was probably my own fault for giving my number out. But it worked and saved me a few baht. Pom was texting me and trying to video call me throughout my remaining time in Pattaya. I managed to find enough excuses and got away with it. I think she had a feeling I didn't really go home because of some of the questions she was asking, but I guess it all worked out in the end. Pom is still messaging me now that I am back home. Who knows how long we will keep in touch for this time. The messages tend to fizzle out from these bar girls over time after you leave unless they are committed to getting the sponsorship. Maybe that was her grand master plan all along and she is playing the long game since November 2024, but she hasn't got any money out of me yet, so who knows what this girl is thinking. Yeah, a couple of things I want to refer to in this story. One is the 100 baht the girl came back with. You know, he gave the waitress 1,000 baht. She came back with 100 and she said, you need to give us some more money. That is quite common in some places, not so much now, but you got to remember they're on 300 baht a day plus tips. If you're in a drunken state, you give her 1,000 baht and she comes back and bluffs you and you give her another 1,000, then she's made 3 days salary just from that one scam. The other thing is him talking about the girls being very protective or jealous. It's got nothing to do with them not wanting him to sleep with another girl. They're just trying to look after their income. If they've hooked up to a guy who's paying money, then obviously they want to hang on to that. So, okay, I'm going to jump into our second and final story. We've just had an incredible storm start here. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I'll plod on anyway. And you might have noticed there was quite a bit of an echo in the first half of that story because I forgot to put my soundproofing up. I take it down every time. It's basically some pillows that I put on the table. I'm in an echoey room, but I remembered and I put them up and it should be okay now. But that rain is very, very loud out that window. Okay, let's jump into our second and final story of the day. I am a single man from the USA. I'm of average height, average build, average looks, but no troll. I think I blend in quite well when I have to. In November 2025, and with nothing holding me back, I went alone to Bangkok for a week. I fell in love. I attended kickboxing, saw a ladyboy cabaret, and tried a soapy massage from the lineup of beautiful ladies in a nearby establishment. 2 days before I left, I made plans to return. In January 2026, I landed in Bangkok for 33 days, in time to see the month-long Happy New Year banners they put up. My flight home was scheduled to leave shortly before Valentine's Day. I did not know how much that mattered. I have 3 rules I follow when I travel alone. 1, never drink in public. 2, never bring anyone back to my main hotel room. And 3, always have a backup plan. I visited the Royal Palace, Emerald Buddha Temple and Wat Po with a tour guide and a taxi service. I discovered downtown some high-end malls and the local Cineplex on foot. One day, about a week into my trip, I decided to explore the other side of the city. It was as easy as turning left out of my hotel instead of right. That was when I was caught in a storm. This was not a low rainy storm, but a busy tourist high season. I learned that you can be struck by lightning any time. I was hit by the best kind. I could not move away and did not want to. Her eyes were green with those contacts young women like to wear, long black hair and taller than me. Healthy, as they say, down to on the farm. In all the right ways and attractive, slightly darker skin than the average Thai woman. A voice like music, low, soft, entrancing. We have all heard it here. Massage ka? This was not a question, this was a summons. This was a foregone conclusion. I was thrown when she offered me more than I asked for, way more. I did not bring protection, but we did things together I had not done in 15 years, back when I was still married. She did not upcharge my initial offer for the very basic service I wanted, or even ask for a tip after that, ever. She took the cash offer as it was and kept on giving. Each time we were together, she surprised me in a new way. Maybe not in the ways you would think from the tone of this letter, but in small human ways that do not seem to exist in Western culture. I know how that sounds. It sounds dramatic and theatrical, but I'm telling you, when you have lived around BS and resentment for half of your adult life, you recognize something real by what it is not. If she was acting, then her well-stuck-to lie was as good as the truth. After the first session, she asked me for my contact information, but I said no. I was given her name, which was the short version, easy for foreigners to remember. We never exchanged phone numbers, WhatsApp, Line, or anything else like that. I prefer being free without attachment. She sensed this immediately, accepted it without reaction, and never pressured me. She asked me how long I was in town for. I told her honestly my real name, which she never used, my age, that I was single and had a child. She was 31 and had a daughter. I'm in my mid-40s. She keyed in on all of these facts like a lawyer at trial and missed nothing. I realised later that she wanted to know my age in order to show me proper respect as Thais do. I cannot know for sure, but I think she believed I was a widower. I'm not. On the second visit, before we started, she poignantly wanted to know, you come here for me or other girls? I tapped that down fast. I came here for you. It's obvious. It was the truth. She was probably confused by my explanation to simplify, to find her around whenever I wanted to. But I had no expectations. I decided if she was there, I would stop in. If not, I would move on. I visited her 8 times before I left Bangkok, all coordinated the old-fashioned way by calendar and raw institution. She knew I was seeing other girls on the side at other places, but it never came up or was even hinted at. She never turned me down for any reason or missed a session. I remember one request where she rearranged her family schedule just to meet me. I was taken with her. 2 of our booked hour-long sessions went to 90 minutes without discussion or forethought. It just kind of happened. I never had to pay those bills or clear it first with a mama-san. We lived in the moment. Each visit I would practice my limited Thai with her, although her English was good. She knew way more of it than she let on. I even caught a German phrase or 2 I recognised, both complimentary to my hygiene. Smiling to myself, I played dumb and made sure to always come prepared. She understood everything I said and could tell what I meant to say whenever I misspoke. Thai, because she would correct me in English. Neither one of us had to repeat what we said to the other. One time she purred. I think you Thai. On each visit, her advances escalated a little more, starting with a, I missed you, which I initially dismissed, to a, I want to see you every day, which gave me serious pause. A finger heart gesture over my heart floating back to hers. Once, after a session, she found a way to keep me there a little bit longer and fully focused on her. All of this was topped off with a single performance move that I cannot explain. I will never know how she pulled it off, only that she did. I will leave that detail to your imagination, and a proper feminine Thai statement of love you, and I'm guilty of the same. I gifted her a small trinket, a small keychain heart in Thailand flag colours, crafted by a young street urchin from Pattaya. Excited, she promptly attached it to the zipper on her purse. She made sure to show me she still had it the next time I saw her. I told her it made me think of her finger heart and thought it made sense. She agreed. I only know now how much Thais do not like to disappoint people. I've never in my life been with a woman as sweet and attentive as this. I asked her a question that had been on my mind since the first time we met. It was a question about the first time she surprised me and why she did what she did. All I got in response was a coy head tilt and I'm shy. She has nothing to be shy of. About halfway through that trip, I booked a hotel in Pattaya for 5 days as I had never been and wanted to experience walking street for myself. That is a story for another day. Coming back for a movie one night, she spotted me walking by on the busy street and stopped me by jabbing my stomach and making a funny face with her cheeks, all puffed up, making me fun because I was carrying my dinner, laughing and flexing. I told her it keeps me strong while picking up a grab food order herself and counting off the days on her finger one by one. She informed me she would be leaving for Phuket for 5 days. I responded the only way I knew how, sabai sabai, high fives and pinky promises to come back for each other when all around. Unable to think, I had another impulsive moment. Turning to leave, I caught her hand and kissed the back of it, waving. Bye-bye, stunned to silence, she could only stare back at me with an open mouth. I do not regret it one bit. I do not know how far out this trip of hers was planned, but it only came up after I revealed my own travel plans to the coast. The days we would be gone did not overlap, but it did not matter to each of us. We were bonded by respect, playfulness and warmth. 2 days before my flight home, I met her on the scheduled day. No exact time was given. I was invited for one last go with her, per her direct request, and what I thought would be my seeing her for the last time. It was Valentine's week. I arrived to see her just after lunchtime. As I had learned the hard way in Pattaya, never to interrupt a Thai woman while she is eating or planning to eat. When she did not think I was looking, I watched her frown. Sad, slow, gentle, full of purpose, I missed. This was not only the frown of knowing how much you are going to miss someone, this was the frown of knowing you will miss the free expression of love you willingly shared with someone for over a month. This was the frown of something gone wrong. I was not supposed to be there. It was the only time I saw a break in her calm. While packing up for my red-eye flight, impulsively took my hold of me yet again. Spending an hour of my limited time left to me, using Google Translate, I handwrote her a letter in both Thai and English. Resolved, I left to deliver this last message, willing to leave it with her boss if needed. I had no idea if she was working or even what her work schedule was because I never asked her and she never told me. She was there, busy with a client, sitting as instructed. I waited patiently. Soon after she came down the stairs, followed by a little old lady, my heart beat again and breathing resumed. Not once did I see her with another man or client. I realised how this goes and have no illusions about the line of work she is in. You do not get to be as prolific as her without lots of experience, but you still never want to see it play out in real time. Her past does not matter to me, and she will live her life after me. It was the moment that mattered. If she did not expect to see me right then and there, she would not have known it. She knew the exact day I was leaving, and that roughly when I had to taxi out of my hotel. Left alone by her co-workers in the first floor foot massage area, I handed her the letter. I let her know it was completely unplanned, but also let her know life is short. We never know how much time we will have with each other. I didn't want to miss you, and that I was going to the airport in an hour. Accepting it gracefully, she did not open it, which I'm fine with, but instead told me to wait. Rushing across the room to her purse with a heart keychain, still attached to it by the way, she came back with a small black box, unwrapped, stripped with gold, while passing by me. I commented with a small grin, holding my belly to make it look like it was expanding. That better not be chocolate. Slyly, and eyeing me sideways, I was confronted. It's okay, I like. Confused, I watched as she sat next to me, angling her feet, body and head directly at me, as close as she could get to me, in public without breaking Thai PDA rules. It was a box of men's cologne. She ordered it by motorbike while at work on the day prior when I arrived too early. Sound and handlebar motion with her hands to make sure I got the point. Silly, playful, cute. I was floored. During what could have been a sorrowful goodbye, she turned the moment into one of the relief and humour. There is something to be said here about the serious side I project and the light-heartedness she projects. I will never forget her, who she is, and what she did for me. Men need women like this. Expressing my gratitude and shock, I was given a patient look and bordering on disbelief at my unawareness. Like Valentine's Day, of course. She knew and was ready. Here she was, planning a course. Smiling, she saw it slowly dawn on me. Yeah, you're right, it is. I do not know how much this gift cost her, but I guarantee it was many times more than the 20 baht that I had spent on the handwritten letters she received from me. If she is a Thai who believes in yin and yang, then this fits. I was reacting to feelings. She was engineering a moment. I think black is a colour of mourning in Thailand. She may have been mourning a loss, the frown from before. In her mind, she picked an appropriately coloured gift. The gold, however, I do not know for sure. It was part of the packaging, but maybe not completely random. Watching me, not wasting any time, I opened my unexpected gift. She insisted on smelling it on my wrists, neck and chest. Thai social convention be damned. If she was crossing a line, I was carrying her over it. I knew right then this was her way of being with me the next several times or with any other woman. A playful ribbon to remind me of who I was, the first, and who got to smell me before anyone else, while at the same time increasing my odds of getting those women. Above all else, when they are into you. A woman loves a man's scent. Sneaky. I like it. We chatted easily for a while, knowing our time was coming to a close, until she spoke out loud. I think you stay in Thailand. I could only reply, if you keep talking like that, I might. Still, no request for or exchange of contact information. If she wanted something more permanent with me, it would be impossible. I am too young to retire here, being only 50, and my job is not remote. There is no sane way to uproot a mother and her young daughter to live in another country with me. Their network here is sound by all accounts, and I promised myself I am never getting married again. I took in the pleasant feeling of being with her for all it was worth, never regretting a second. But I knew it was time to go. Saying our goodbyes, she gave me one last hug, patted my back and walked me out. She watched me go off into the night and waved me goodbye. No smiles this time, only her eyes never left me. Lightning hitting me with every step. Turning to leave after looking back, I felt the full sadness. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I appreciate your work. So my question to you is this. How serious is this interaction from her point of view, especially the last night together spent talking? What does it mean in the bigger picture for her to give me this gift? It was unexpected. It was a final surprise. How did she know she would see me again to give it to me? I asked a Thai man that I trust, what does it mean for her to do this? He asked a clarifying question first. You have no social media with her? No. None? Okay. Then he simply said, be careful. Okay, so the guy obviously wants an opinion from me, so I've got to play devil's advocate, haven't I? Look, you know, these girls are working. The more times a guy goes back to see her, the more money she's going to make. And all these little traits that she done, the little gift that she had, you know, she's learned over the years, and, you know, keeping little gifts behind for special customers is going to work. It's going to touch on a guy's heartstrings, isn't it? Now, on the other side of the coin, I'm sure there are girls who do this for a living, and occasionally they'll meet a guy who they think is a much nicer guy than her other clients, and does genuinely look forward to seeing him. But that doesn't mean she's going to stop what she's doing. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it there. There's a thunderstorm going on. You probably can hear it in the background. I'm just looking at my CCTV. It's coming down as heavy as it could be. So I'm going to go out and enjoy the rain for a while, and I'll see you with some more stories next Saturday.